I'm Heather from here Booktubes. Today is my Bookish Buzzwords. So the thing or the phrase that you say and I'm like, oh, I am interested in that book. That's what these are. Here's the list. Number 1, dagger to the throat. If you're telling me that there's a dagger to the throat scene and then it turns into kissing or steamy times, or that's how they meet, a violent meet cute, or, you know, they're in a battle of wills and all of a sudden there's... If the scene exists, I'm interested. Also, stolen from the wedding. This should not be a surprise if you have been on my channel. I have a video about it. I've mentioned it several times that it is one of my all-time favorite tropes. That's when the bride's gonna get married and then, woo, he swoops in, steals her, often for political reasons. And I'm a fan. I'm a fan of it. I'm a fan, especially when it turns into like consensual non-consent in the wedding dress. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. A knife, a gun, violence, wedding dress, blood-soaked, not blood-soaked, still pristine, doesn't matter. I love this trope. Alpha. This should be pretty obvious, but I love a good alpha love interest. I do. Give it to me all day long. It is absolutely a thing. That is a check in the column for, oh, I'm interested in that. Enemies with benefits. I love when you have kind of that angst, but you don't necessarily have to wait on the angst for any steam factor or any clear, yeah, I'm attracted to you things. So that hate lust line being finer than the hate to love line, you know what I'm saying there? Enemies with benefits. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Try and kill me 1 minute, bang, bang my brains out the next. Yes. No third act breakup. If you tell me that there is not a third act breakup, I am at least 75% more interested in that book. Fated mates. I am such a sucker for fated mates. I adore it. One of my all-time favorite tropes. One of the things that I just really enjoy, especially when it's done well, because fated mates doesn't mean that you don't still need to get to know each other. And also you can have rejected mates, which I honestly very much tend not to prefer. The only one that I've really enjoyed has been Kate C. Wells. But fated mates is just that extra layer, especially when there's like paranormal things where they can speak in each other's minds or, you know, feel the mate connection, all these different things that they can add into this story. I really enjoy that being added on top of the usual means of communication and emotional attachment. Marriage in crisis. This was a thing that I honestly did not think I would ever be interested in, and I love it. I love it. Now, obviously, it depends a whole lot on how it's executed, how much they've hurt each other, or how much they've just drifted apart. I definitely preferred that they've just drifted apart, that, you know, fights didn't get fixed and stuff, but not like they actively hurt each other to the point where they shouldn't be with that person anymore. That's my preference, is that it's not so bad that I can't see them salvaging it. I rule this city. Even better if it's like, and I need a queen. I am a sucker for it. I love the extremely powerful, especially morally gray or villain trope. And they are often involved because of the power and they have to be, or they're doing it to save somebody or whatever it is. But I love when that powerful, morally gray man is looking for a queen, his equal, someone that he's going to treat incredibly well and share all the riches and power with. Sign me up. I will be that for you. Omegaverse. I love Omegaverse books. I do. Now, it is well known that I do not love when it's like extremely abusive. Not really a fan of that. And that can be very prevalent in Omegaverse. So you do have to be careful wandering around the subgenre. But when it's done well, I love all the weird dynamics and fluids and nesting. I love it. Is it weird? Yeah. Yep, it is weird. Yep. I still like it though. The mysterious alpha. Need I say more? I love a man, a powerful man, a morally gray man with a little mystery about him. I'm a fan. I am a fan. I love when the main character has mystery about them too. I enjoy when an author can unwrap the layers and can really make this person feel real and feel fleshed out, but you had to work to find out what they're about. I enjoy that so much. When an author does it well, it is exceptional. I love the we have to solve a crime, get revenge, chase down a target together trope. I love how they're working together, especially if it's like involving violence or solving something, more so than like we have to bake this pizza together. That doesn't really get my mother-retic. If they are like trying to hunt somebody down or figure something out and they need each other, they're working together and they don't really love each other or like each other, but there's a mutual respect there. The idea that you're both good at your job and you respect that about the other person long before you felt anything for them. I really enjoy that. And some of my favorite books have this in it. A book I'll be reading soon has this in it. Rereading, I should say. It's so good when it's done right, especially when you get to see the characters being so clever and you're just like, oh yeah, look at you guys. Look at you. Thrown into a shadowy world. This can be paranormal, it can be mafia or crime or any of the things, but you didn't know that this existed or you weren't a part of it in any way, and now you're thrust into it and you have to try and figure out the politics and you have to try and stay alive by figuring out what you're going to do and the rules. And I really love when a character does this really cleverly. So I don't love watching them make a fool of themselves the entire time because they didn't know anything. I love for them to catch on quickly. And again, me just be like, I want to be you when I grow up. You're so smart. You're so clever. You always know when people are playing you or how to play people. Manipulation, yes, I enjoy it. Mastermind. This is very similar, but I love when a book at the end you realize that one character, whether it was the main character or the love interest or a completely side character, knew what was happening the entire time and was in control and was pulling strings. This is why I've always loved Sherlock Holmes. I realize that it's just the author saying this is what happened. It doesn't matter. I love it. I love when there's a mastermind element. And in fact, if you have any recommendations, it's so hard to find. I would love more recommendations for this. Somebody had it all under control, but you don't find out. And then at the end, you do find out all of the things that they were pulling the strings for. Vampires, werewolves, witches, demons. I realize those are all paranormal, so you could just say paranormal, but that's not it. It needs to be one of these words. They will always pique my interest. You have a chance of getting me to read your book if you just say that word. Character A will do anything to keep character B safe. Doesn't matter if that is to, sacrifice themselves to the love interest, or if the person they're trying to keep safe is the love interest. Doesn't matter what it is. If they will do anything to keep them safe, I'm going to enjoy my time here. I can't lie, a lot of this does involve marriage of convenience or violence for my own personal enjoyment. But also, I also love when they are willing to play a political game. Not like betray everybody they know and love, because that's never fun, because then it comes out and then they're like, oh, I can't believe you betrayed. Not what I mean, but just where it's like, no, if they're a threat to you, then that means I'm going to have to take them down, because nothing's going to be a threat to you. So I'm going to play this game, I'm going to beat them at their game, and they are going to burn, and I'm going to take over the city. Yeah. That's the good stuff right there. Along that lines, marriage of convenience. I am such a sucker for this trope. When it is done well, it is done so well that is my wife. Don't touch her. Don't look at her. If there is a bruise or a bump on her, you are going to pay. Love it. I do. I love it so much. I also love, especially with marriage of convenience, when they don't have any feelings for each other. I hate to love marriage of convenience, but I also like when there's a real true mutual respect and a mutual gain out of it, and they are actively trying to work together. They just don't expect to catch feelings. Going to seduce them to kill them. Give it to me. Give it to me every time. And if you can pull off that true sexual tension, that chemistry, well, you know, they've got a knife on their person somewhere. It's so good. I love it. And I especially love it if both are morally gray, if there's like a villain. And I love to when they don't get mad about finding out that they were trying to kill them, because it's just like, no, that checks out. That's who you are as a person. I don't blame you. I would do the same thing. This is why I love you so much, because you're so cutting. Oh, it's so good. That's it. Those are some of my bookish buzzwords. Things that if you'd say, I'm like, that sounds like my jam. If you have any recommendations based on these buzzwords, I would love to hear it, like, so much. So please do that. That would be great. Phenomenal. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.